The following is a presentation of the NABL.
Welcome to tonight's game. This one's going to be good. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
We're underway here in Dallas, Texas. LaShawn Murphy right up. Here he goes. He rolls it in.
You know what game is? That's when you play.
He's going to take it all away. Oh, my goodness gracious.
And it's going to be out of bounds. Oh, great save.
Oh, my goodness. We feel like we can go out and dominate.
Lands it home and closes it out with authority.
That's game. That's game.
Welcome. That is NABL basketball.
Yes, yes, yes. Here you are. Welcome. You have arrived on the BackCourt. Woo. Yes. Sorry, I've been going to church a lot lately, and I've been spiritually moved. Wow, only a few seconds into the show and we're already getting weird. How about that? But hey, how can you not be moved by what has been happening in the NABL just this past week alone? Hey, it's Ken Buckner with you, back for another week on the BackCourt. Of course, the official show of the North American Basketball League, and lucky number 7. Week number 7 has come and gone in the NABL, and some questions that we had going in have been answered, while other things have left us pondering. So, let's dig through them. The NABL headlines of the week. Well, just when you think you know somebody, huh? I mean, what a surge the Huntsville Force has been on, and what a turnaround. And after week 6, back-to-back big wins over Birmingham and then Southern Illinois, created that 3-way tie at the top of the NABL's Eastern Northern Division. It was time for the Battle for Bama, Part 2. Pardon me. Yeah, so Saturday, it was the Force on the road this time. I mean, could Huntsville keep this mid-season turnaround rolling away from the friendly confines of Huntsville's home court? Or would it be the Birmingham Vulcans, who showed so much strength early this season, and would they get their revenge on Huntsville and ultimately get themselves back to the top of the division? Well, leave it to these two expansion teams. What a great addition these two have been to the NABL in 2017. Leave it to these two to give us another NABL classic. Man, with a 117-111 Huntsville Force win, and they win on the road in the barn of Birmingham. I mean, as a famous Vulcan themselves once said, yeah, this is highly illogical, Captain. But what goes down on the court goes down in the books. And Huntsville, ladies and gentlemen, Force, you are in the driver's seat in the East Northern Division. Bada bing. Meanwhile, there are some clear front runners running away with their respective conferences and divisions. Yeah, in the NABL's Eastern Southern Division, it's a breakaway by who else? The Atlanta Show. It's as if they got magic legs and are blitzing away once again throughout the NABL's East, taking down the expansion Panama City Piranhas without mercy, 163-97. I mean, not only does that move Atlanta to 6-0, not only does it mean they're staying perfect within their franchise history, never lost, but Atlanta sets the NABL scoring record with 163 points. That's like 2 games. Well, I mean, we got to ask, Atlanta, is there anything you cannot do? We should get them capes. Seriously. They're putting on a superhero-like show once again. And in the wild, wild west of the NABL, it is just starting to become a 2-dog race in this hunt. Yeah, a lot of basketball left to be played, but getting closer to the midpoint of the season, the Lions and the United are taking control and setting themselves apart in the West. San Antonio, who followed up last week's big upset of the Dallas Hoyas in Dallas, well, they took care of their own home court by downing the always dangerous Austin Knights and putting up another round of points on their own, 141-126. That win moves the Lions to 5-1 on the season, just a half game ahead of the DFW United, who went on the road for the trip to San Antonio as well, but this time to face the Alamo City Aztecs. And they take down this up-and-coming rising Alamo City team 130-112 on the road. That's no joke. So for a little look inside this unified United team, well, let's head over to DFW and talk to the head coach of the United, the always graceful Kimberly Green.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Well, first-year head coach of the DFW United, only that half game out of first place in the Western Conference. It's been quite a year. It's been quite a turnaround from a year ago for DFW. What is, your opinion, the key for this DFW United team that has just been blowing out opponents for the last month?
The key, I think, was the way I selected the team. I was very strategic on what type of team I wanted to build and what type of environment and basically model I wanted to build. So sometimes it wasn't always the most talented or the best player. Sometimes it was about who was going to buy into my system, and therefore I knew if they could buy in and be team players, then we could be successful.
See, right there, you can detect there is a disciplinarian within Miss Kimberly Green. You have quite the military background. Tell everybody about that.
Yes, I was active duty Air Force for 13 years.
Wow.
I had a great career, was in pharmacy as well as contracting, and I've been all over the world with the Air Force. So it was an honor to serve my country, and I enjoyed it while I was in.
And for the past 2 seasons, assistant coach under Paul Parker for the Dallas Hoyas. We talked to Calvin Harris just a little while ago about that same thing. Talk about the transition from going from an assistant into a head coaching role.
The group of people and staff that we actually had with the Hoyas was great. Cal and Paul, they're great coaches. All of us have a select style, even though we do have a lot of similarities. So to go from being an assistant and being used to being with 2 other great coaches, it was an adjustment because now it's just me. I actually don't even have an assistant. So sometimes you turn to the left or the right looking for someone to talk to, and it's just me there. But I didn't have a second thought that I wouldn't be able to step up to the plate, or Cal or even Paul, because we're all leaders, and we all have something to bring to the NABL, which is very special. So yes, it was an adjustment because I was used to us 3 being together, but I think us having our own organization has also been able to shine and been well for the league.
Boy, you talk about shining. I mean, your record right now is absolutely stellar. Only 1 loss, and that was a last-second overtime thriller against the Hoyas. But outside of that, it has been all United. Nobody wants a piece of your squad right now, either at home or on the road. Now, that is one thing. What has made DFW such a good road team this season?
Like I said, we buy into the system that I've created. It's a very actual team work type of environment that we have. So at any given time, I can call upon any player and they're able to produce. And so therefore, it doesn't matter if we're on the road or if we're home, if we're missing certain players. Like I said, I wanted to build a team that no matter who was there or who was not, our team would still be able to be successful. And so therefore, I'm not saying that we don't skip a beat, but at the end of the day, we're still able to be a strong unit no matter whether we're home or away.
Well, this weekend, task at hand, you get a little bit of both. You are a home and away weekend doubleheader got going on Saturday and Sunday. First up, Saturday, you head down to Austin against a reeling, but always able to strike Austin Knights team. What do the United have to do? What are the keys to coming back with a victory on this one?
The biggest thing that we really have to do is play defense. Austin has a great team. Offensively, they have a great team. They have great guards. Then when you rotate a little bit down, you have Coleman and some other guys that are able to do some great things. They're very athletic. So what we have to do is really not about scoring because both teams can score. It's more about who's going to stop who at that point. So my guys really have to step up their defense and really actually stop Austin. And that's going to be our goal this weekend. Like I said, you can put the the ball in the basket, but who are you going to stop when you get on the floor? So
we've seen great standout performances. You want to talk about defensively too, not just offensively, from Dedrick Dews, Jason Smith this season. It's been quite the year for the United. Then you head back on Sunday against the up-and-coming Miss Lou Warriors, coached by your former assistant coach friend. It's a rematch of that Week 1 thriller that you walked away with a win, 118-116 on the road. What do you see being the biggest challenge against this somewhat? Now, you know them since you played them, but everybody else in the league is like, what is up with this Miss Lou team that's all of a sudden up-and-coming?
Right. The biggest thing, that first game, it was early in the season, I want to say, for both organizations. So you can't just assume because, you either got the win or it was a close game that it's going to be that way this time, because they've had time to develop, and so have we. So it's really going to be like fresh start, to be honest. We're going to have to go out with no expectations as far as, okay, yeah, we beat them by 2, but that doesn't mean anything now because they've had games under their belt, and we have to really stay in tune. We have to be mentally tough, and we have to realize that at the end of the day, we have to do what we have to do to get the job done and win the game.
Well, it's going to be exciting. It's one of the marquee matchups of this huge 10-game week number 8 in the NABL. Remember, watch these games live, especially this one on Sunday.
Yes.
A Sunday 2 o'clock start Central Time, a matinee at NABLbasketball.com. Head coach Kimberly Green, it's such an honor. You bring such class and grace to the backcourt. It's amazing. We've needed this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you bringing me on your show this week. It's an honor. It really is an honor to be here.
And we will see you this weekend against Miss Lou.
Okay, thank you so much. Have a great day.
Now, the West is far from settled, and it could all seriously very much change upside down this very weekend coming up. But before we get to that, we must talk about the big breakout performances. That's right, NABL Player of the Week time. And hello, old friends. Hello. Hello. That's right. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Actually, don't, because you've heard it before, and we're not going to stop the show. The backcourt cannot be stopped. It can only be contained. Our NABL Players of the Week for week number 7 are Atlanta's Bernard Parks and San Antonio's Eric Stewart. Yes, for both of these points guards. This is in already week 7. The second time this year these two have earned this honor. And for Eric Stewart of San Antonio, buddy, this is back-to-back weeks for you. Boom. Here we go. Stat totals. Bernard Parks for the Atlanta Show in that huge 163-point game. 32 points for Bernard, 10 rebounds, and 12 assists. That is a triple-double, ladies and gentlemen. And for San Antonio's Eric Stewart, their big win over the Austin Knights, in which their team put up 141 points. Eric Stewart. This is not a typo. This is why I'm reading it literally off a handwritten piece of paper in front of me, because I didn't want to get this wrong. 55 points. 55 points for Eric Stewart for the Lions. 8 rebounds, an assist, and 3 steals. So, I don't know. Can anybody say NABL MVP favorites? The race is on, folks. Just saying. Big props to those two, Bernard Parks of Atlanta, Eric Stewart of the San Antonio Lions. And by the way, dating back to last season in the NABL, they are each 3-time NABL Players of the Week. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you felt a seismic shift in the geothermal molecular poles of the Earth this past Saturday, no, do not adjust your TVs. Do not call local law enforcement. It is because something truly remarkable happened. Something we have been waiting for a long time, after nearly a season and a half, after a lot of basketball games being played, and I'll be honest, after a lot of well wishes and prayer. Yes. The Music City Kings have officially recorded their very first win in the NABL. Never ever give up. Ever give up. As an original NABL charter team who has come so close so many times, Saturday's 119-97 win over the Savannah Cavaliers have officially notched a W in the win column for the very first time for Music City. So, man, I'm not even going to hold this on any longer. Let's go to Nashville right now, where I'm pretty sure Tony Johnson and the Kings are still celebrating. Well, Tony, the word congratulations doesn't even suffice on this, but wow, how does it feel recording the very first NABL win in Music City Kings franchise history?
I feel great. I feel real good. I'm happy. My coach happy, and my players especially happy.
A 119-97 victory over the Savannah Cavaliers. You certainly know them throughout this league. There are a few NABL teams, honestly, if you don't know this, fans, about Music City, there are few teams that are as involved in the local community as Music City is within the Nashville area. What does this win mean, and what have you heard from your fans in the community?
Well, we get a big pat on our back for the first actual win. I want to get honor. We want to get honor to God. Also, the person actually behind the scenes, a lot of people don't know, is my mom, Aretha Johnson. She passed away beginning of last year, towards the end of last year. It's just a blessing to have this win, especially for Mother's Day weekend, because we're doing a special tribute to her.
Wow, that is very special, Tony. The Kings have been so close so many times as one of the NABL original charter teams. You have a wonderful group of guys that are extremely talented on the court and off. How did you keep the faith within the locker room and keep them pushing throughout all of this?
Actually, I went to my guys, told my guys, said, please don't give up on me. I won't give up on y'all. We family. Like I told you from day one when I first spoke to you last year, I look at my guys as brothers, as brotherhood, and we family. They kept pushing. They kept that motivation. I hear every day in the locker room, every day at practice, we got to get this win. We got to get this win. We're going to go out of town and get this win, and we made it happen. Like you said, Savannah Cavaliers was one of our rivals. They actually put us out of the playoffs last year. And that was actually fire right there burning to take it back home, bring it back home.
Well, man, a huge win. How can you, now that monkey is off your back and you've busted down the wall and the door, how can you take this win and spin it to propel the Kings forward throughout the rest of the season?
Well, we all getting ready. Actually, I'm finna get ready ahead of practice in the next hour or so. We're getting ready for Huntsville. And, Huntsville beat us by 5 points. Yep. Our first game. And, that fire right now is just burning. You got to put the fire out. But there's no way you can put that fire out here in Nashville, because we're going to burn no matter what.
Well, let's talk about that big weekend coming up, a back-to-back weekend for the Kings. As you said, it doesn't get any easier as the division-leading force comes in out of Huntsville. Then the Piranhas out of Panama City on Sunday. Talk about this weekend, what the Kings need to do to keep this moving forward against both Huntsville and the Piranhas on Sunday, too.
Basically, defense. We just got to play good defense, less turnovers, and each time we go to the free throw line, we need to make them shots. So I believe we went to the line probably 12 times with the Savannah Cavaliers, and we hit probably 7 out of 12. It's just defense. It's basically, basketball is mostly a defense and a mind thing.
Well, since Music City joined the league last season in the NABL's first inaugural season, you guys have been one of the toughest teams, regardless of record, regardless of outcome. It's come close so many times throughout the years, and it was so great to see the breakthrough. Congratulations Tony Johnson. The entire league, I have to tell you, the entire league of the NABL, other teams, maybe not the Cavaliers, but everybody else rejoiced when they saw that the Kings won. So congrats on that, man. We've been pulling for Music City.
Man, I appreciate it, but like I said, I want to give a shout out to my coach, Mike Bryan. I brought him back. If it weren't for him, my team would not be where it is right now.
We appreciate you. Best of luck this weekend on the back-to-back and the rest of the season. Hey, it's only the start of great big things and winning things for Music City, man. We've been praying for you, and it happened. It happened, man. I appreciate it. There he is, Tony Johnson. He is the head owner of the Music City Kings, live from Nashville. We'll see you soon, Tony.
All right, thank you.
Okay, now for the breakdowns. While some are heading full steam ahead throughout the NABL 2017 season, let's take a quick look at those that are not. The Savannah Cavaliers, an NABL Final Four team last season who made it all the way to Dallas to the championship series. A startling 0-6 this year for Dennis Green and company in Savannah. And what is up with Austin? Okay, they were also the Knights, a Final Four team last year. I mean, the Knights have turned from the Dark Knight into a, well, I'm not going to say that, but at 0-3, yikes. Now, just remember that last year, the Knights were on the ropes and seemingly on the skids, irreparable at that point, but they turned it around just past the midseason point, and they made a big run all the way into the playoffs, into the Final Four. So, who knows? Okay. And you add to that, all right, the Dallas Hoyas having a tough time right now overall at 3-3 and 2-2 within the West. They're out of playoff contention at this point, okay? They're at 500. As we said, a lot of basketball left to be played, but tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. And now, to the biggest weekend, this is no joke, biggest weekend of the NABL's 2017 season. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for it. Hold on to something tight, firm, and sturdy. Welcome to Week 8. Yeah, Week 8 where it could all turn upside down, okay? Let's just be honest. 10 total games populate the landscape of the NABL schedule this weekend, and I mean all weekend long. You have Miss Lou, Dallas, DFW, Austin, Music City, and Panama City all playing back-to-backs this Saturday and Sunday, with some of those being home and aways mixed in, okay? It's a veritable gauntlet of treachery for these teams to run through at this point. But anytime you have this much action, this many games on the schedule, well, the standings, seriously, they could go from one way right now to a completely different direction come Monday. It could all be thrown into calamity by next week's episode on the BackCourt. So I'll wear a hard hat. Let's get ready for that one, okay? We'll get to all of the Week 8 matchups coming up here. But here are a few of the cannot miss games in the NABL. The 2-1 Miss Lou Warriors, they've been simmering on the back burner for a few weeks, okay? They haven't made it on the court in about a month as they watch the rest of the NABL West just knock each other around in the meantime. Well, now it is time for the Warriors' turn, who make the trip to North Texas to take on both Dallas franchises. You talk about a gauntlet. Okay, Saturday, the Warriors square off against the 4-1 DFW United. Now, we already have talked with United's head coach, Kim Green. So, let's head out to Faraday, Louisiana. I guarantee. So, Coach Kelvin, okay, while the rest of the NABL Western Conference has been beating each other up to a pulp for the past few weeks, Miss Lou has been on the sidelines. It's been about a month since the Warriors have played. What have you seen from the competition yet, and do you think there's any rust factor when it comes to your Warriors?
Well, what I have noticed about the league this year is that the competition level is pretty steep. There are some teams out there that can really put the ball in the racket. And, you know, what we would do to adjust to that, we're just going to play Warriors basketball. We want even, you know, see how another team matches up with another. We just will show up and play our game.
Now, when it comes to what you just said, Warriors basketball, Warriors 2-1 on the season right now. A young team last year filled with talent, but just lacking experience, quite honestly. That's not the case this season so much. That one loss coming by only 2 points to the DFW United in Week 1. Describe the makeup of the 2017 Warriors, both as a team and as the style of ball that you played.
Well, first things first is to, before even getting the guys to even commit to you, is make sure that you have a system, foundation, and have a foundation in what you really want in the program. And I think, during the off season, that's something I focus on, what I really want from this program. Went out, got a couple guys, and several guys that's played on, high D1 level. And that alone, has enabled us to be a better ball club this year.
Now, it's so cool you see across sporting ranks assistant coaches off of a successful team getting their own opportunity and window to become a head coach. That certainly can be said for you. And Coach Kimberly Green, who we just had on a little while ago from the DFW United, both on the Hoya staff for the past 2 seasons, now heading up and at the helm of their own clubs. Talk about the transition from being an assistant coach then to moving over into the head coach role.
Well, I think the transition was pretty easy for me. As an assistant coach for the Dallas Hoyas, Paul Parker did allow me to make decisions. He had a system so that I was able to make decisions for him and also for the organization at times within the system that he has. That allowed me to adjust very easily when becoming the head coach over on this end for my own club.
Now this weekend, oh boy, it starts a marathon for the Miss Lou Warriors on the schedule. But it launches with a back-to-back on the road as you take on the 2 Dallas area teams. First off, Saturday, it's the team that, as we said, you were an assistant on the past 2 years, the Dallas Hoyas. Your keys, we'll start with that one, your keys to a Warriors victory on the road against the Hoyas and your thoughts on taking on your former boss, Paul Parker.
Well, for one, I just know that all of my guys will have to show up to play. I think the Dallas Hoyas will come out ready. This is a game that many may have already marked on their calendar, including some of my players and some of his as well. I intend for it to be a great contest. But I would approach it as, any head coach. It's a ball game. I won't feed into the hype of it. I would do my part as being the head coach for the Warriors, and hopefully we can come out with the victory.
Now, then, right the next day, I guess you guys are just like camping in the parking lot here in Dallas. Because you're going to take on Sunday the DFW United, a revenge rematch of week number 1 and your only loss, as we said, on the season. So that 118-116 on tip-off weekend. How do the Warriors get the revenge and stop the fireball that is the DFW United right now?
Well, I wouldn't call it a revenge. The game when we played them, the opening season season opener, it was a very good contest. However, we did have a couple guys that were injured. And I know possibly some things could have been different within that first matchup, but we're a month and a half later. We're going to put it all out there. Much respect to Coach Green, Kimberly Green. I think she's doing a good job over there, but at the end of the day, there's only one team that can win, and I'm hoping and I know that my guys will show up for that victory.
It's going to be a great weekend, and boy, it is so cool to see the Warriors really step up because, as we said, there was so much talent already, and we knew with the roster revamp in the offseason that even more was added, and then that experience factor coming in under your tutelage and leadership. It's really cool to see. The Warriors here to make waves in the Western Conference. Finally, before I let you go, last week on the BackCourt, we had arguably the biggest free agent signing of the year so far, and that is soon-to-be Miss Lou Warrior, LaShawn Murphy. Okay, he's arriving from Spain in a few weeks to Miss Lou. How does the addition of LaShawn to your club change the Warriors?
Well, I've talked to my guys all season. I told them that, there's a question in the point guard position that I question about my organization, and, I can be honest about it. A person knows this team, and adding LaShawn will just be so much of a complete piece for this team. He's a great point guard. He's a facilitator. He can do it all. My chance to even watch this young man 2 years ago as a guard in Hoyas, it's going to be something awesome. My guys are excited. He's excited. I'm excited. So I'm looking forward to him returning. I think he will play his final games this weekend as well, when he'll be heading back to the States.
Awesome. Well, we're excited as well, too. You talk about a truly electric player, and those NABL fans that have not seen LaShawn Murphy on the court are about to be treated to one of the most dynamic players that there possibly could be on this level. So certainly appreciate the time. I will see you at the Dallas games, both of them this weekend, and, man, we'll check in with you again soon here on the backcourt.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Buckner.
Thank you so much for the time. That's Kelvin Harris, head coach of the Miss Lou Warriors. Now, let's dive to the NABL East, where the East's Northern Division could be decided already in week number 8. At least the top spot we're talking about here. With the Huntsville Force in command as it stands right now, a Birmingham victory over the Southern Illinois Pharaohs would clinch the top spot for Huntsville. Now, Huntsville has to win against Panama City on that regard, but all that aside, okay, this is quite the game in itself. Let's not bury the lead. With both the Southern Illinois Pharaohs and the Birmingham Vulcans looking to fight for number 2 at this point, and perhaps still a long shot to get to the top spot, they have to get through each other. Gotta love the NABL schedules, huh? If anyone is going to keep the show from taking off and running away with the NABL's Eastern Southern Division, well, Capital City, you are on the clock. After a Week 6 pounding, can the Cardinals rebound and defend home court and avenge that huge loss that they suffered to Atlanta in Hotlanta? Okay, now stranger things have certainly happened in the NABL. But with the 6-0 Atlanta show and the still 5-2 Capital City Cards, yeah, we're going to keep an eye on this one, okay? We'll see. Reminder, you can see all of the games and more. NABLbasketball.com. Click on the link right on the homepage. NABL Live. Every one of these games live streamed for your viewing enjoyment. So even if your favorite team's on the road, well, I mean, you could go with them. I don't know how much vacation time you have, but anyway, you could watch it live. NABLbasketball.com. Now, for the rest of the games, and as I said, there's 10 total, all the rest of the action coming up later. But now, yes, from the NABL BackCourt News Desk. I don't have a desk, but this is official. We told you last week on the BackCourt about the fast approaching NABL trade deadline. Now we call it the incredibly quickly approaching NABL trade deadline. No further moves can be made by any team to their rosters, either by trade or free agency or waivers or by air, land, or sea, after May 20th, which is that Saturday. So, of course, the flurry and the frantic activity is in full overdrive. And next week on the BackCourt, of course, we're going to have all the big moves and wrap up all the big roster changes and more for you. But I can already tell you, there are some pretty big rumors flying. Rather big ones. And they're coming out of Southern Illinois and possibly even the Dallas area. We already know about some in Miss Lou, Faraday, Louisiana. Yeah, stay tuned. Why am I whispering? You're right there. Okay, now for the rest of the NABL action, and we're going to do it here in the KBs Pics segment. And boy, did we here on the BackCourt need a rebound week of our own. After going 5-0 though last week, ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to say that we are now 14-4 on the season and picking these puppies. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, because honestly, we were basically quickly working our way to maybe earning a participation ribbon if we're lucky. Yeah. So let's dive in, okay? Let's begin in Dallas as the 3-3 Dallas Hoyas 2-2 within the Western Conference. Just try to bounce back, but they have the up-and-coming Miss Lou Warriors rolling in, okay? Now, while Miss Lou is still awaiting their new free agent signee and former Dallas Hoya, LaShawn Murphy, of course, who we had on the backcourt last week. It's going to be a tough one. They're a wily bunch, these Warriors, but I'm going to take, at least in this game, Dallas to defend their home court. They didn't do that last week against the San Antonio Lions, no. But they will defend their home court this time against Miss Lou. It's going to be a tough one, though, but I take the Hoyas over the Warriors. Sorry, Coach Kelvin. Now, as the Hoyas head out on Sunday, one of those back-to-back teams, they travel down 35 to Austin. And I don't care what the record is of the Knights. Yes, go ahead and put up the graphic. Yes, it's true. There's a reason cliches are said so often. The Knights are dangerous no matter what, okay? Especially when Austin plays at home and with the quick turnaround of the Hoyas and what they have to do from going from one tough game down the road to another, and the Knights staying home all weekend long. Yeah, give me the upset. Why not in this one, okay? Sorry, Coach Parker. But Austin will get the win over Dallas in the Texas capital. Now, Austin, before they take on the Hoyas on Sunday, Saturday will invite the DFW United into town. See how many games are going on? I told you the whole standings could just whoop. Well, okay. DFW United on the road in Austin. I took Austin over Dallas, who beat the DFW United earlier in the season. So in a logic that only I can understand, give me the DFW United to win this one. Yeah. Now, DFW, after they take on Austin, will head back up the road to Big D, to their own home court to face the Miss Lou Warriors, who literally are camping out and staying all weekend in North Texas. In this Sunday matinee game between the United and the Warriors, well, I mean, I believe in the Warriors. I really do. I think they are a team that will be in the playoffs for the NABL. I think they'll come out of the West. I think, but I don't think they're going to win this one. I think DFW is a juggernaut right now. So give me the United to win over Miss Lou on a very tough road trip for the Hoyas, for the Miss Lou Warriors to head back to Louisiana from. That's a long drive. But check this. Miss Lou could, in all essence, in either of these games, or even both, and at 2-1 rather going in, they could throw a Shaquille O'Neal-sized wrench into this whole NABL's Western Conference standings, okay? It would not surprise me at all. I'm just going to say that and leave it there. Elsewhere in the West, the 1-4 Houston Wolverines, they head to San Antonio to face those blitzkrieging Lions. And though the Wolverines may just be turning that expansion team corner, okay? Getting things right with ball. The Lions have proved they're the real deal in 2017. Absolutely. So give me San Antonio to defeat Houston in this one. To the NABL East, can the Atlanta show stay perfect? We ask that every week, all the way dating back to last year. Well, they head north on 85 to Raleigh, North Carolina for a rematch against Cap City. And though the Cards are a much different team at home, well, I would even begin... Why would I pick against the show? No. I'm crazy, but I'm not insane. Atlanta, please, ladies and gentlemen, in this one. And with so much already riding on the line, the Pharaohs head to Birmingham, and it's tough to predict this one. I mean, I think this may be possibly the best matchup of the entire Week 8, but with the Vulcans on this recent slide of theirs, and even though they're at home, give me Southern Illinois to eke out a victory in Bama. All right, here's another question. Can the Music City Kings keep their mojo working and reel off another win after they got their first ever last weekend in franchise history? They have two shots to do just that. First, Saturday against the Huntsville Force. Well, this game In Huntsville, no, give me the Force in this one over the Kings. But Sunday, the Kings invite in Panama City, and yes, I will take me some Kings, thank you very much, over the Piranhas. Piranhas also have a back-to-back too. Saturday, Panama City heads to Savannah. Will the Cavs get their first win of the year? Ooh, I don't know. But I guess this segment's not called Ken Doesn't Know. So, yeah. I'll take the home team in this one. And I'll take the Cavaliers over Panama City. I guess. Yeah. Anyway, what do you think, all right? See the games as they happen, every single one of them, live at NABLbasketball.com. Got the live stream, and it kicks up Saturday and doesn't stop till Sunday night. Huge. Week 8 of the NABL. All right. Always remember, you can email me right here, Ken Buckner at NABLbasketball.com, or right over there on that part of the page. Just fill out the little form, okay? I'd love to shout out to you. By the way, I got a lot of love and fan mail from the Music City Kings fans this past week. Love to read yours here on the backcourt. We may just have time for that next week for week number 9. But thanks to all my guests that appeared, courtesy and without any sort of bribery or gifts or reimbursement for doing so. Yeah, they were kind of forced into it. But thank you for every single one of our guests that we had on the backcourt this week. Thank you to our eternal visionary, fearless leader, our commissioner of the NABL, C. Travis Johnson. And most of all, thanks to you. All right, thank you so much for being a fan of the North American Basketball League, for whatever team you root for. And you know what? Whether you like it or you don't like it, thank you for watching the backcourt every single week too. You know, the internet doesn't have ratings or anything, but our numbers are pretty big. Thank you. That's because of you. All right, we're going to be back next week. It's going to be after the trade deadline, after these 10 games of week number 8 have all went down. The standings are going to be a mess. We'll sort it all out. We'll have brand new guests and more. And most importantly, I hope we're going to have you. Till next week, I am Ken Buckner. This is the Backcourt on the NABL Network. Woo.